Hello and welcome to this new video. In the previous videos, we implemented the Steam inventory services and Steam microtransactions. In this video, we'll be covering a new topic, which is anti-cheat with Steam. We will integrate the Steam anti-cheat system, called Valve Anti-Cheat, VAC. The goal of VAC is to strongly discourage users from using cheat software by both having strong penalties if a user is caught cheating, and by making it hard for the cheating community to know if a cheat is actively being detected. VAC is a component of Steamworks and the Steam client, and works by scanning the user's system for cheats while your game is running. It works a lot like a virus scanner, and has a database of known cheats to detect. Once a cheat has been detected, the user's account is marked for a delayed ban. A ban doesn't take effect immediately and instead is enforced a few days after the cheats are detected. Once a user ban is in effect, the user will no longer be able to connect to multiplayer game servers that are marked as secure. Bans are tied to a user's account, so the only way for the user get unbanned is by creating a new Steam account and buying another copy of the game. When a user is VAC banned, the following happens. The account cannot join secure servers for the app IDs they are banned. The ban is publicly displayed on their Steam community profile. The account can no longer share VAC-enabled games. If the user is accessing the game via family library sharing, the ban is also applied to the actual owner of the game. You can find detailed documentation on VAC and its integration on Steam. What's important to note is that VAC is already installed with the Steam client, so there's no need to download it with your game build, unlike Easy Anti-Cheat, EOS, which must be included with your build. To integrate this service, you first need to enable it in your Steamworks application. The action taken by VAC for banned players is that they cannot join secure sessions during matchmaking. If you want to limit a banned player's access to the game, you need to use the web API and implement a system that prevents the player from connecting to the game. This is exactly what I'm going to show you in this video. To get started, you first need to enable the service for your application. Go to the anti-cheat configuration to do this. Here, you need to enable VAC, which is already done for me. It's worth noting that you can use a partner anti-cheat software with Steam, such as Easy Anti-Cheat. I won't be covering the integration of these anti-cheats in this video. If you detect a cheating software that is not known by VAC, you can post a cheat data report to Steam. The first thing to do is to go to the Friend Item widget to implement the report button. Just to remind you, we use this button to allow a player to report a friend for EOS. We'll do the same thing for Steam. I remind you that in a real game, reporting should happen at the end of a match, after the player detects abnormal behavior from another player. But for the sake of simplicity, we are implementing the reporting system here. When the player clicks on Report, a report dialog will appear. We did this in a macro that shows a notifier to the player. What we will do now is modify this widget to adapt it for Steam. For EOS, we use the product user ID to report a player, but that's not the case for Steam, which uses the user ID. Connect the reported friend user ID to the macro. In this widget, we won't use an explanatory message written by the reporter. Steam doesn't require a message when reporting. In the combo box, we define the report types. For EOS, the accepted types are predefined, and this is not the case for Steam. Steam uses a parameter called appData of typeInt, so it's the developer who defines a list of types, where each type is represented by a number. This number will have meaning for you to identify the type when you receive the user reports. To report a player, call the task Report Steam Player Cheating. The task takes the user IDs of the reporter and the reported players. The app data is, as I mentioned, an int representing the cheat type defined by the developer. To submit a user report, the player report checkbox must be checked. If the No Report ID checkbox is checked, you won't be able to find this user report. The other parameters are optional. Check the player report checkbox, then obtain the Web API key and the app ID from the game instance. To allow the player to submit a report type, I will define some types in the game instance, giving them IDs as integers. In the game instance interface, add a function that is used to get the map of cheat types. The output is a map from string to integer. The key is the type to define and display to the user, and the value is the ID of the type to submit to Steam. Implement the function by defining your own types. In this example, I consider two types, the aimbot type, which will have the ID 1, and the scamming type, which will have the ID 2. In a real game, you must consider sanctions based on the reported type. In this example, the sanction I will apply is restricting access to the game, regardless of the reported type. Obtain the cheat types in the event construct. I want to populate the combo box using the defined types. Based on the type selected by the player, get its ID to pass it to the task. Go to the Login widget to check if the player has any sanctions applied before sending him to the lobby. Call the task request Steam VAC status for the user, which returns a boolean indicating whether a ban is active for the specified player. If the ban status is true, we should not open the lobby level. If the task fails, you should not open it either. Display a message on the screen if the player is banned. Get the Web API key and the app ID from the game instance. The Web API allows you to request a ban for a player, as well as remove this ban. Note that VAC also applies bans automatically if it detects a cheat. To keep the example simple, I will implement these two processes in the game instance. It should be noted that these two processes must be handled by the developer only. Add a custom event that is used to request a ban for a player. call the task Request Steam Player Game Ban to request a ban for a specific player. This task requires the report ID to which the ban will be associated. You must provide a description of the ban. The duration is in seconds. 0 means an infinite ban. If the delay ban option is checked, the ban will not be applied immediately, so I want to leave it unchecked for this example. To obtain the report ID, call the task Get Steam Cheating Reports, which returns the report submitted on a specific player. I want to test the ban on the local player, so I will pass the local user ID. I will use the first report returned for this player. This structure contains all the information regarding a report. I don't want to display it in a widget. In a real game, you can use the app data to determine the sanction to apply. Connect the report ID to the task. I apply the ban on the local player. Provide a description and a duration. I give an infinite ban. Display a message indicating that the local player has been banned. Add a function in the interface to call this custom event. Implement the function by connecting the custom event. Add a custom event that is used to remove the ban of the player. Call the task Remove Steam Player Game Ban, which is used to remove the ban of a specific player. The banned user is the local player in this example. Display a message on the screen if the call is successful, an error message otherwise. Add a function in the interface to call this custom event. Implement the function by connecting the custom event. To test these two processes, I need to report the local user instead of the friend because the ban requires the report ID of the player to be banned. I will replace it with the friend ID once the test is validated. I now want to add two test buttons in the Home widget, which are used respectively to ban and to remove the ban of the local user. Implement these two buttons by calling the processes in the game instance. We must destroy the widget once the report is made. To test game access after a ban, make sure the delay ban box is unchecked. Launch the game to test. Click on Report to report the local player. Select a type and then click on Report. There you go, the local player has been reported. Click on Request Ban to ban the local user based on the submitted report. The local user has been successfully banned. Relaunch the game to test access. Click on Login. And there you go, the player cannot access the game and the banned message has been correctly displayed. To remove the ban, we will temporarily allow access to the game so that we can click on the Remove Ban button. Relaunch the game to test. Click on Remove Ban. And there you go, the user received a Steam notification that the ban has been removed. Roll back the modification in the login widget and relaunch the test to ensure that the player is not marked as banned by VAC and that they can access the game. Replace the local user ID with the friend ID when reporting. There you go, I've shown you a complete workflow for integrating VAC into your game. It's up to you to implement a robust system using the features I've shown. That's all for this video, see you in the next one.